Hey, welcome back, you guys. Hope you're having a good day. In this tutorial, we're going to create a quiz game that's going to ask us 5 questions about outer space, and we're going to answer those questions. But what's going to make this even better in this tutorial, we're going to add a background image to our graphical user interface, so it doesn't look boring. It'll add more, I guess you could say, like more character to it. So we're going to be using tkinter, and we're going to be using Python, and we're going to go to Pixabay. It's a website where you can download free images, and we're going to get our image for our graphical user interface. So let's begin. First thing we're going to do is we're going to create a new folder for our project, and we're going to call this folder Quiz Game. Go into Visual Studio Code Editor. And then we're going to select our folder as our directory. We're going to go to Open Folder, go to Desktop. I'm going to select Quiz Game. Now that we are in our folder, we're going to create a virtual environment for this tutorial. Let's see, where is it at? New terminal. There we go. You're going to go down into the file, hit New Terminal. And we're going to create our virtual environment. We're going to say Python -m emb my emb. I'm using a Microsoft, or I'm using a Windows computer, so the command may be different for you if you're using a Mac. You could just Google search, how to create a virtual environment with the type of computer you're using. Reason why we create a virtual environment is we want to isolate everything that we're creating in this program to that environment. It's good like for security reasons, and if you want to share this code with someone else. Sometimes it takes a few seconds for it to load. So we have our virtual environment file created. We now need to activate that file, and we're going to say my emb /scripts/activate, and our virtual environment is activated. Now let's create our Python file, and we're going to say space is game.py. Okay, now that we have that set up, let's go to Pixabay real quick and get our image. Pixabay.com, and let's see, my computer is lagging. Sorry about that. And this type in, we'll say outer space. And it gives us all these up here you have to pay for, but all the ones that say royalty free image you can use. You do have to create an account with this company, but it's free. Go on with Google. Okay, so we're going to go sign up. I'm going to sign up with my Google account, and my account's created. Just follow the same steps, do the same thing, and we have all these outer space photographs or images. You can use whatever image you like. I really like this one. I think it looks pretty neat. So we'll use this one. Why not? Actually, no, let's use something else. Make sure when you're using these images too that you follow the commercial guidelines. We're just building this project for fun, so you can use it. The images, most of them, I'm pretty sure, just make sure whatever image you use, you are following the guidelines for using that image. Let's see, what should we use? Let's use this one. UFO Mountains Fantasy. Actually, no, I don't like that one. I'm sorry. It's taking me a minute. Let's use this one. I'll use the Spaceship Fantasy one. Why not? Who cares? We're gonna hit download, and you're gonna pick the 1280 by 692 JPG. Now, when it comes to using tkinter, also also you can donate to this person who created this file, or you can say thanks. Once again, just make sure you're following the license guideline. You click on the license and it tells you what you can and can't do. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to that image we just created, or we didn't create that, we got off of Pixpay, and let's rename it. You're going to right click, hit rename, and just put image underscore one. What we're going to do, we're going to take that and put that in our quiz game file. Now, excuse me, tkinter does not use, it does not take JPG images. So what we have to do is we have to convert this image into a GIF. That's the type of file we're going to convert it to. So before we do that, let's start importing our libraries. So we will import tkinter first. We'll say import tkinter as tk. Then from my pil, pil, import image, and we're going to have to pip install pillow. We will do that after we write this. We'll pip install pillow. Let's see where we at. We'll say pip install pillow. Probably already have it installed on mine. Okay, it's collecting the files. Okay, so what we're going to do, we are now going to create our class, and that class is going to be called Quiz App. We're going to define it, self.root. I'm going to say self.root equals root, self.root dot title. We're going to name this Space Quiz Game. And the screen size will go with the geometry. We'll go with 500 by 500. If that's not a good size, we can always change it. And I will explain what's going on here, because I know there may be new people watching this. So in my videos, you'll see me repeat information a lot because I never know who's watching it. Could be someone new. So we're creating a class, and in Python, a class is the blueprint for creating objects. So the best way I can explain this is this. You have a class, say you have a car, and it's a class, and with that class, there are attributes to that car, right? So you have the color of the car, the wheels, the radio, the leather, or, if it has leather seats, things like that. So what we're doing now is that we have a class called the Quiz App. And now that we created that class, we are now assigning attributes, objects to this class, different features to this application. So that's what we're doing. And also, whenever you have a class, you're always going to start with self before you add on more features to that class. So now we're going to leave a comment. We'll say this is going to convert convert our JPG image into a GIF. So we're going to say JPG underscore image. We're going to say equals image open, and we're going to put in image one right here. So we're going to say image. Make sure you spell this, has to be to the T. Make sure you're copying this exactly, because if any error with that, it will not pick up on the file and it won't work. So just double check yourself. We're going to say image one.jpg. And then we're going to make sure you have it's in between quotation marks. And now we're going to say self.gif underscore image equals image tk dot photo image jpg underscore image. And let's go to file and just save that to make sure everything's good. Okay, now that we have that set up, we're now going to start creating our labels. We're going to start creating our widgets, things like that, for this program. So we're going to say, let's see, self background underscore label equals tk label. Make sure that L is capitalized. We're going to say root image equals self gif underscore image. So right now we're creating our label. We're setting up the background image to display on the graphical user interface. And whenever, now we're going to place that image. We're going to say self dot background underscore label place, say real width. We'll say equals 1, comma. I'm going to say real height. Real height equals, we'll go with 1. And now we're going to create our question label. I'm going to say self.question label tk label. I'm going to say root font equals, we'll go with a Calibri. So we're going to say Calibri. I mean, if I'm not pronouncing it correctly. And then we're going to give it the font size 16. And then we're going to say the wrap length are going to go with, let's see, wrap length, we'll go with 400. We'll say background. Background equals, we'll go with the black. And then we'll go with the foreground color equals white. Also with tkinter, remember, you may be new. You're always going to give the command, or you're going to create the blueprint for what you want. The label, we're doing that. We have the root, the font, the wrap length, the background color, and the foreground color, which is going to be white. And anytime you have the layout, once you're done with that, you have to pack it. That's how it's going to display on the screen. If you don't pack it, it's not going to display. There's different ways to. Some people use grid. I prefer packing it, and they both have their purposes and reasons. It all depends on what you're trying to do. So we're going to say self dot question underscore label dot pack pad y equals 20. Now we're going to create our answer variable. So we're going to say self dot answer variable say tk string var, and say self answer entry equals tk dot entry. I'm going to say root, comma, font. We're going to do the same thing. We'll go with the Calibri. $14. Then we're going to do the text variable. Make sure you put those commas in there. It's very important. If you don't, the program won't function correctly. It'll see it all as together instead of like separate instructions. So we're going to say text variable equals self dot answer underscore var. And then once again, we're going to pack it. So we're going to say self dot answer underscore entry pack add y equals 10. Okay, now we're going to create our submit button. Let's go to our file and just save this to make sure everything is good. You never know what could happen to your computer, so it's always good to save frequently. So we're going to say self dot submit score button equals tk dot button. Make sure that B is capitalized. I'm going to say root text equals submit. I give the command, say command equals self dot check answer. So quick recap of what's going on. Here, let's full screen. I don't know why that's not full screen. I'm sorry about that. So we created our button. We have displayed on the button, we have submit, and now we are giving the command, which is self.check answer. So when we click that button, it will activate this command and it will check the answer to see if the answer we put in the entry box is correct. And we're going to say, now we have to pack it. So we're going to say self.submit button pack. Okay, now that we have that set up, now we're going to create our questions. So we're going to say self.questions equals. We're going to create our dictionary key value pair. So we're going to say question colon, and then we're going to say question we'll do is let's see. We'll say, what is the largest planet in the solar system? What is the largest planet in our solar system? We're going to give the answer, which is Jupiter. Jupiter, and make sure you put the comma at the end. So it's letting us know that that line of code is complete. Then we're going to move on to our next question. Say, what planet is known as the red planet? What planet is known as the red planet? Answer. And it's Mars. Make sure you put the comma once again. We're going to move on to our next question. We're going to do 5 questions. And say question. Now, you know, You could copy and paste this, and change it, but I always think, especially when you're first learning how to code, it's good to just type it out so you can get the concept really down in your mind. If you're starting off doing a lot of copying and pasting, you're not going to memorize as good as you should. So we're going to say, we'll do this one. We'll say, what is the brightest um, star in the night sky? We'll say, once again, answer. It's Cyrus. Our fourth question. Let's say, what is the name of the galaxy that contains our solar system? It's the Milky Way. If you put answer. And our last question. Okay, we're gonna say, let's see. Question. Say, which planet has the most moons? Answer. I'm going to say Jupiter. Okay. Now that we have that complete, we're going to go down here. We're going to say, let's see, where are we at? There we go. Skip a couple lines of code, and we're going to say, or a couple, skip a couple lines so we can separate our next line of code from this. We're going to say self.current underscore question equals 0. Self.display underscore question. Now we have that set up. We're now going to create our define display question function, which is going to display our questions, each question that we get to answer. So we're going to say define display question. We're going to go on to our Boolean statement. For those of you who do not know, if-else statements pretty much control the flow of your program. So if this statement is true, the program will do this, else it will do something else. So we're going to say if self.current question length, questions less than length, self questions, say self.question label.config text equals self.questions, say, sorry, all this stuff's popping up. There we go. I'm going to say self.current question. I'm going to say question. Now I'm going to say self.answer or set. Okay. Now we're going to create our else statement. else self dot question underscore label config text equals quiz completed. Self dot answer entry config state equals disabled. I'm going to say self dot submit button config state equals disabled. So pretty much what we're saying here is that, this is going to, as long as the quiz is active, as long as we have we haven't answered all 5 of the questions. Once we answer a question, it'll move on to the next question. But down here it's saying once all the questions are completed, then it'll display quiz complete, and then the quiz will be over and done with. The submit button will be disabled, and the answer entry will be disabled. So now that we have this set up, now we got to define our next function, which is the check answer function. It's going to check to see if our answer is correct. Check answer self. I'm going to say user underscore answer equals self answer underscore var get strip get dot strip correct underscore answer equals self dot questions. Then we're going to say self dot current underscore question answer. And then we're going to move on to our if statement. So we're going to say if user answer, it's all going to be displayed in lower. This is the lower case function right here, or the lowercase method. So this means that everything's going to be displayed in lower. So we're going to say if the user's answer, which is lowercase, is correct, answer self.current question plus equal 1. So we're saying if the answer they put whoever's using the program, if they enter the right question, then it will count 1 point to their scoreboard. I'm just going to say self.display question, and then it will move on to the next question. Else, if they do not answer the right if they do not give the right answer, then it's going to say self dot question underscore label config text equals incorrect. Try again. Now that we've created our functions, now that we created that function, the check answer function, we are now going to create our main loop. Our main loop is what allows the program to run. So we're going to say if name is equal to main root equals tk app equals quiz app root root.main loop. Okay. So what's going to happen first is when we run this program, what's going to happen is it's going to convert this JPG into a GIF. So let's run this and make sure everything's correct. Okay, invalid syntax. Let's take a look. It says, what is the name of the galaxy that contains our solar system? Invalid syntax. Okay, let's take a look at line 31, see what the problem is. Yep, and I did exactly what I was telling you guys not to do. I forgot that comma. Okay, hit file, save. Let's run it again. Oh, it converted automatically for us. The last time I did this, it printed me out. It created another GIF file over here, and I had to add it that way. So this works cool. As you can see, this is our graphical user interface. We have our background image, which looks pretty cool to me. Hope you guys like whatever image you picked. Now let's start answering questions and make sure everything is functioning correctly. So what is the largest planet in our solar system? Jupiter. What planet is known as the red planet? Mars. What's the brightest star in the sky? Sirius. Make sure I'm spelling this correctly. What is the name of the galaxy that contains our solar system? Milky Way. And which planet has the most moons? Jupiter. Well, it's complete. Okay. The quiz is complete. That's great, but it should be displaying like our score. Let me double check and see what's going on with that. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. So this is where the issue was. Okay, so first things first, in our define check answer, where you have if user underscore answer dot lower parentheses is equal to correct underscore answer dot lower parenthesis colon, you need to have self dot score plus equal 1. You need to have that before you put this other information in. This is going to check the answer. If the answer is correct, then it's going to add a point to towards the scoreboard. Another thing too, when you go over here to the define display question, right here where the self dot question label config, where I messed up at is this, we need to put the F format quiz completed your score, and then it's going using the curly brackets, put self.score slash curly bracket len, which is length of questions, which means length is going to be self.question. So it's going to take our score and compare it to how many questions. So if you got 3 right, it'll say 3 out of 5, things like that. Once you do that, go to file, save, and then the program will run correctly. So we're going to answer questions again. Jupiter, Mars, Sirius, Milky Way, and then Jupiter. And you see it says quiz completed, your score 5 out of 5. I hope you guys enjoyed this program. I hope I offered, excuse me, I hope that you enjoyed the program. If I offered you any value today, I ask you to hit that like button, subscribe to my channel for more of my content.